7 years after a Rowan County toddler died, his mother has taken a plea deal to charges of criminal abuse.
A crash involving two semis and a passenger car shuts down the southbound lanes of I-75 in Rockcastle County for more than 3 hours this morning.
It's a difference. It's definitely an upgrade.
A big day for hundreds of UK students. Move-in day is underway. We'll hear from parents who say the new residence halls are much different than what they remember.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. Her son died more than 6 years ago, and today she pleaded guilty to charges in connection to his death.
Tia Jones' 2-year-old son, Nathaniel, died in 2009. State police say he died from injuries he suffered at his mother and her then-boyfriend's Rowan County home. That man, Brian Gallagher, was scheduled to take a plea deal today as well. Victor Puente is at the courthouse in our top story at 4:30.
One of the two people charged in this case entered a guilty plea this afternoon. The other is due back in court next week. 2-year-old Nathaniel Jones died in 2009. State police say he suffered injuries to his stomach. His mother and her then boyfriend were both indicted on charges of murder and first-degree criminal abuse. Today, Tia Jones entered an Alford plea to 2 reduced charges of second-degree criminal abuse. That means she agrees that there was enough evidence to convict her, but does not admit any wrongdoing. The other person charged in this case, Brian Gallagher, was expected to enter a plea deal as well, but today his attorney asked for an extension. He'll be back in court next Tuesday in Montgomery County. After the hearing, Gallagher told me he wasn't sure what would happen then, but he still had no intention of pleading guilty because he's innocent. Jones' attorney said there were tough negotiations for that plea deal.
It's a tragic time in Tia's life. To lose a son and to be indicted for it is certainly a heartbreaking scenario to go through, but it has come to the point where we felt this was the best thing to do, and she was in agreement with that.
The recommended sentence for Jones was 4 years for each of those counts of criminal abuse to be served consecutively for a total of 8. In Rowan County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The attorney for Jones says she has agreed to cooperate in any way she can as part of her plea deal.
A Western Kentucky police officer faces sex abuse charges tonight. State police say 32-year-old Ian Danber was arrested today after a complaint saying he had sexual contact with a minor. Danber was an officer with Hopkinsville Police. The department said Danber resigned today after being suspended. He had been with the department since 2013. Danber was booked into the Christian County Detention Center. And in Taylor County, troopers have arrested a Detroit, Michigan man on drug possession charges. State police believe 21-year-old Keon Rowland may be connected to several heroin overdoses in the county. Troopers expect to make more arrests.
A Western Kentucky jail will be closing its doors at the end of the month. Monroe County officials voted to close the jail because it can't meet new state regulations that call for more staff. Police officers had warned that it could affect public safety, but the judge executive says they can't afford to hire more staff. As of September 1st, those arrested will be sent to the Barron County Jail. Monroe County will pay about $36 per day for each inmate. Madison County health leaders are attempting to launch the county's first needle exchange program. Health officials say the program's main goal is to prevent the spread of disease such as HIV and hepatitis C. The Madison County Health Department says they see about 8 to 10 people a day with hepatitis C. They point to the success of programs such as Fayette County's and how it works.
I see no reason why that same science and evidence doesn't translate to Madison County as it does to elsewhere in Kentucky and across the country.
The public health director plans on going back to the Madison County Fiscal Court next month for potential approval to move forward with launching the program. Coming up on WKYT News at 5:30, we'll get a look at how other needle exchange programs in the area are going.
We are wrapping up the work week with a few showers in spots, but good news, finally, we are tracking some drier weather right around the corner. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has an early look at the forecast.
Drier, more comfortable, just a great feel to the air coming your way as we get into Sunday afternoon and going into the first part of next week. Fantastic stuff. Out there right now, you see here in Jackson and in London, 69 degrees, by the way, there under the shower but you see a lot of steam, a lot of mist hanging out with Jackson as well. Got the showers and thunderstorms that have been working through those areas. It's a significantly different picture as far as the temperature is concerned here in Lexington and also into Frankfort, where it's 81 and 85 degrees. We're not dealing with the rain like they are to our south and to our east, and it's certainly been a soaker down there around London with some heavier rounds of rain. Now you can see most of that now showing up on our Defender Radar Network. For folks headed out to some area high school football games, you might run into a stray shower or two. A lot of those chances are starting to even disappear. We look ahead to your Saturday, and that's when we'll start increasing our chances for showers and thunderstorms more widespread, because that's when our front arrives, and as it starts pushing through town, that means more widespread rain. But by the end of the weekend, that's when that fall push also starts to roll into town. I will track it with the hour-by-hour forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Looking forward to it. State police believe wet roads may have caused a traffic mess in southern Kentucky today. Troopers say a semi crashed and hit several vehicles on Interstate 75 in Rockcastle County. And as Mike Byer tells us, it caused a headache for drivers heading south.
I'm at the I-75 Renfro Valley exit in Rockcastle County. About a half-mile up the expressway is where an accident happened this morning involving two semis and a passenger car. The crash happened around 8 this morning. Kentucky State Police say a FedEx semi was traveling northbound when it hydroplaned and crossed the median. Troopers say the truck hit the cable barrier and then struck a Pontiac Grand Prix from Wisconsin that was heading southbound. Troopers say a second semi also hydroplaned and then hit the two vehicles. We're told the person in the car received minor injuries and was taken to Rockcastle County Hospital. No one else was hurt. As a result of the crash, the southbound lanes were shut down for over 3 hours, causing a nightmare for travelers.
We were coming down south to go to Tennessee Wesleyan for a college visit. We unfortunately got stopped, and we've been waiting here for like 3 hours.
Now troopers tell us it was raining very hard when the accident happened. In Rockcastle County, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Troopers say the crash could have been much worse if it wasn't for the cable barrier that lessened the impact between the semi and the car. It's a day they've been waiting for years. It's move-in day for UK freshmen.
And some of them are getting to move into UK's brand new residence halls. We caught up with some parents who couldn't believe how nice the rooms are compared to when they went to college.
This is one of UK's newest dorms, Boyd Hall.
We have 2 elevators going straight up, so we're going to get you up to your room as quickly as we can.
The Mitchell family is here from Indiana. Their daughter Raina is a freshman, and she's already noticing some changes.
Really big difference, because when my brother was here 4 years ago, he stayed in the towers, so it's a difference. It's definitely an upgrade. So.
Her dad Reagan is helping with the move. Once inside, the Mitchells couldn't believe how much has changed since they were in college.
When my mom dropped me off to college 36 years ago, I was sitting in a room with 2 other guys in a fan. It was so hot, it was ridiculous.
You might say they have it great. This room is big enough to have a common area and multiple sinks. The days of going to a community bathroom are over. It's a different era for Reagan.
The dorm that I lived in, it really looked like an institutional jail cell. This is amazing. This is luxury at its finest.
Did he say sport? Look at that. That is crazy. Oh, wow. What kind of stuff? It got little separators. We just had a little slits.
The microwave and fridge come with the room, but if you want to cook a good meal, you can just go down the hall to this brand new kitchen. Reagan says his daughter doesn't know how good she's got it.
No, I don't think she does. Because according to her, she wasn't even sure if we had electricity when I went to school.
Oh, that is so funny. Those are so nice. Tomorrow is the final day of Big Blue Move. Classes start on Wednesday.
2 kayakers who went over Cumberland Falls will be back in southern Kentucky tomorrow to teach a lesson. You may remember this viral video of the 2 pros riding over the falls back in March. They were cited for trespassing. They'll be at Cumberland Falls tomorrow as part of their diversion program to teach kayak safety classes.
Music in general really helps push through any ideas.
From politics to music, Dolly Parton weighs in on it all. Coming up, we'll hear from her as she gets ready to release another album.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
We've been tracking around to showers and thunderstorms across parts of Kentucky today with some heavy rainmakers, and we'll have even more over the next 24 hours as another system will push in. Let's look across Kentucky right now, and we're looking at Louisville, here in Lexington, Corbin, Jackson, where you're seeing a little more rain and some mist coming up off the mountains there Just been a pretty nasty day for some with the humidity and the showers and thunderstorms that have been working through parts of the area. Our Defender radar network starting to calm down quite a bit compared to where it was just an hour ago. We had decent coverage across southern Kentucky, but even now most of that starting to give up. Let's go in again, check on the folks there in two parts of London, and they're just seeing steady lighter rain, a little heavier down I-75 closer to the Whitley County line. You got more heavier rain that will be tracking from Pulaski County into Laurel County here soon. And then out along the Hal Rogers Parkway, we're watching some of that rain weaken as well, especially the showers that were around parts of Perry County and also into Breathitt County as well. We've seen some of that rain mist, obviously, off in the distance with the Skycam. Hour by hour run. Let's watch what happens here as we get into noon tomorrow. You've got a frontal boundary that's going to be on the move, pressing toward Kentucky, and it is going to increase our chances for showers and thunderstorms. So tomorrow, a lot of high school football action also taking place tomorrow. It's usually the way it goes when the season starts. You have numerous games on a Saturday night as well. Tomorrow night might be a little bit worse because we could be dealing with better chances of showers and storms. Most of us will get away with just damp conditions out there this evening. Hour by hour run pushes showers and storms through the area even at midnight going into Sunday. That front is diving through and it's taking the rain with it. We're in the middle of the day on Sunday and things are looking a whole lot better into central Kentucky. Some rain lingers to our east before it eventually wraps up. An area of high pressure moves in, dries us up, and things are going to change for several days here. Very comfortable stuff coming to Kentucky. Hour by hour run also of our precipitation. You can see that we're dealing with some decent amounts of rain in pockets. You might have an inch or two if you get caught under some of the heavier rain as we wrap this all the way up into your Sunday. So we're watching for that potential as well around here. So any one of these have the potential to be a heavy rain maker. Saturday, Sunday, you see the rain chances, but you also see the good stuff really settling in here. Upper 70s, but the best part about those upper 70s, they will be joined by low humidity, which means a whole lot. You will feel it fall feel truly, guys.
I know for the folks that have football going on tonight, they're extremely happy about it being just a little bit less oppressive than it has been.
That's right. You know, even if they're caught under a shower, it won't last long. They're in good shape.
Move on, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Well, at 70 years old, Dolly Parton isn't slowing down anytime soon. She is in the midst of promoting her 43rd album.
And she's also not shying away about talking about tough topics, everything from politics to equal pay. Christine Romans talked to Dolly.
When you were starting, did you think, look, if I'm going to last, if I'm going to endure, and if I'm going to make sure that the music business doesn't take advantage of me, I have to be in control of my image, my sound, my business, every angle of it?
Well, you said it when you said the business. It is called the music business. So as soon as I could, I started my own publishing company, got my own record label now. And so I just I think it's important, if you can, to keep all of your goods, you know, close to home, where you can control it, know what's happening with it.
How do you think that music has helped to push along the women's movement over the past 40 years? Do you think that's been a factor?
Music in general really helps push through any ideas, even in the 9 to 5 where it's equal pay for equal work. And we've come a long way since then, but you know, I think
we're still at 83 cents to the dollar.
We've got a ways to go, that's what I'm saying, but we're working on it. I don't care whether it's your race or whether you're green, blue, black, red, or alien gray, or whether you're male or female or transgender. If you do work, you should be paid and appreciated for it, and you should be respected and appreciated for who and what you are. Songwriters, you know, actually have a field day when things in life are going on. I know I'm writing all sorts of things about what this crazy stuff is going on right now. I get all kinds of thoughts. But I usually don't talk politics about who I'm voting for and all. But I'll tell you, right now I have not decided.
You're not decided?
No.
You have not decided. So you've got another 3 months to watch all this.
I'm just watching it close.
How can you not love her? Dolly Parton is not just a country music legend. She owns restaurants, theme parks, a record label, film, and TV production. She is a mogul.
He's the son of country music star John Michael Montgomery, flying high on his own. Walker Montgomery joins us from Drake's when we return here on WKYT.
You know his father, and now he wants you to know him.
Deanne Stevens is out and about at Drake's with Walker Montgomery.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here at Drake's hanging out with this young man, Walker Montgomery. You've probably watched him grow up as well, the son of John Michael Montgomery, country music star, out on his own now. Like, you've been playing for how many years, trying to get your feet wet in the business?
Well, you know, as long as I can remember, I've been singing, but past 3 years really been singing out in Lexington and stuff in Nicholasville. So.
And when your dad is out on the road, I understand you too take the stage with him sometimes. Talk a bit about that, and how cool is it to be on that stage with your dad?
I'll tell you what, there's nothing like it. I mean, we've been everywhere in the country. We just got back from South Carolina last week, and we saw Rick Larson down there.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's no other feeling than getting up on stage and being part of it, you know.
Are you fulfilling a lifelong dream right now, Walker?
I'm trying.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of work. A lot of people may not get how hard it is to be on the road and to push your music and to get people to listen to you. You're seeing it now for yourself, right?
Oh yeah, it's wearing me out, but I love it. I love it.
All right, well, he is going to be performing here at Drake's as part of this big Saloon Saturdays. They are celebrating country music here in Kentucky. Tomorrow night, you're going to see him perform, but right now, you get a very special treat. Take it away, Walker Montgomery.
Yeah, girl, been digging on you, sipping on drink number 2, trying to come up with something smooth, waiting on the right time to make my move. I just can't wait no more, can't let you slip out that door. Prettiest thing I've ever seen before, got me spinning around, I ain't even on the dance floor. You're shaking that money maker like a heartbreaker, like a college mate. Friday night, love the way you're wearing those jeans so tight. I bet your kiss is a soul saver, my favorite flavor. Want it now or later, never seen nothing that I wanted so bad. Girl, I gotta get me some of that.
You sound amazing, buddy. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations, his career taking off. You come be a part of the celebration not only of country music, but Walker Montgomery playing here in Central Kentucky. Drake's tomorrow night. I understand, I'm supposed to tell you, you better get here early as they kick off Saloon Saturdays. 9:30, he's taking the stage. I'm Deanne Stevens. Say it again.
Gonna be a party.
It's gonna be a party, just like his dad, right? It's gonna be a party. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
He's good, isn't he?
He is good, and it will be packed, so you better get there early to get a seat.
I'm sure. Amber Heard's $7 million divorce settlement with Johnny Depp is now in the hands of 2 charities.
The actress made good on her promise to give the money away. Children's Hospital of Los Angeles and the American Civil Liberties Union are the lucky recipients of all the money. Heard had accused Depp of domestic abuse and got a restraining order against the actor in May. The two came to a settlement Tuesday, one day before they were scheduled to appear in court.
9 years after the original Harry Potter series ended, J.K. Rowling is apparently not finished with the world of wizardry. Rowling says she'll be releasing 3 short e-books on her digital platform Pottermore for $3 each. The books are available for pre-order now and will be published on September 6th.
He's not just busting criminals, but he's busting moves. You have to see this officer's dance moves, and take a look at this coming up. It is Friday. It is football Friday night, which we love around here. And some folks can have some good weather for it. Maybe others might not be so good.
I'm sure everyone is looking forward to that forecast. Let's head over to Jim Caldwell.
We are tracking a few showers, especially in southern and eastern portions of Kentucky. So folks heading out to some of those games here in the next few hours, they might deal with a stray shower or two still in the area. But for the most part, a lot of this rain is beginning to wrap up. So there is our football forecast. A very small chance around kickoff. If you've been experiencing some rain, your temperatures will be a little bit cooler than that 80-degree reading. Just in general, though, we're talking 80. And then by the time we get to the halftime end of the game, we are dry and till tomorrow at least, with more rounds of showers and thunderstorms sweeping into the area, more widespread rain. And we do have some Saturday night games, especially this time of year, and we could run into more widespread storms for you tomorrow, unfortunately. No major issues around Lexington weather-wise, but let's check on traffic and see what's going on there with Officer Don.
There are a couple of injury collisions, and that one is at Alexandria and Cross Keys. This one just happened, and police have the intersection completely blocked there right now at Alexandria and Cross Keys. Also getting word of one at Eastland and Loudon. And, of course, the impact in the Hamburg area right now, that's because of construction. Pretty slow on the inner and outer loops of Man o' War from Sir Barton over to about Todd's Road, it looks like, bumper to bumper. They're still working on Citation and Newtown, by the way, too. Drive times to Versailles, 11 minutes. Not too bad there. To Paris, about 22. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. And officers, smooth moves and some adorable animals for your Friday.
It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this. A Virginia police officer getting in formation. He dances to Beyonce's hit Formation pretty well, I must say, in full uniform at a back-to-school event. The event collects school supplies for students, and there was a lip sync contest, which for obvious reasons, this man won. No matter what, it's safe to say he gets points for effort.
Omaha, Nebraska's Henry Dorley Zoo is inviting visitors to meet a frisky set of tiger triplets. Isabella the tiger showed off her rare Amur tiger cubs this week in their public debut. The two male and one female siblings were born July 7th. Isabella is a first-time mother and needs help naming her new offspring. So the zoo set up an official name entry box in front of the display, and they're asking for the public and help with suggestions. That is pretty cute on this Friday.
They were just ferocious, weren't they? Trying to roar, the little things.
Stick with us. Here's what we're working on for you now at 5 o'clock.